Yes, the Google Pixel 8a is now finally official, and I thought I knew everything ahead of time, but if you're looking to buy, here's our first impressions, plus a better look at all the colour options compared directly so you can make the right choice when it is available. If you want to see our full breakdown and review in the coming weeks, well, we'll have lots of comparison content and more to share, so hit that subscribe button on the channel to see just when those drop. And also check out our memberships if you want even more 9 to 5 Google, from wallpapers to shoutouts and much more in between. Our first member-only wallpaper pack is now live, but if you want to grab it and learn more, tap that join button to see just what we're offering. So let me get the official spec list out of the way early, because this is the kind of boring stuff that we did have an idea of ahead of time. Well, the Pixel 8a ships with a 6.1-inch OLED display, now at 120Hz for smooth visuals. It's powered by the Tensor G3 processor, which is once again packaged differently to the regular Pixel 8 and 8 Pro. It comes with 8GB of RAM. There's also Wi-Fi 6E. I thought you might want to know this because it doesn't come with Wi-Fi 7 like the Pixel 8 and 8 Pro, and it has Bluetooth 5.3 for connections to Bluetooth accessories. For the first time, you can also pick up the Pixel 8a in a 256GB storage variant alongside the base 128GB model. The camera actually brings nothing new to the table, as it does consist of a 64MP main sensor and 13MP ultrawide. It also includes a lot of AI features, and the 13MP selfie camera is also available for face unlock. Sadly, we didn't have time to really test this out, but we're hopeful, as this is identical to the 7a's camera system, which was pretty impressive, although a little step down versus the 7 series, and therefore we expect this to be a step down over the 8 series. It's packed with those AI features, as I mentioned, like Best Take, Magic Editor, Audio Magic Eraser, Guided Frame, and Real Tone is also here for video. There's a 4492mAh battery. Let's make that 4500 to round it up for improved battery life. Sadly, 18W wired charging does remain. There's no fast wired charging here, and 5W wireless charging is also available with Qi accessories. You'll get 7 years of updates with this device, plus security updates and feature drops, and as previously announced for the Pixel 8, the 8a will be getting on-device Gemini Nano, so no complaints there from us. It's a future update as the developer option that can enable things like recorder summarization, better Gboard replies, and Magic Compose in messages. One of the best parts though is the price. Google is shipping the Pixel 8a for $499 on that base model. That's actually a lot of phone for that price, especially given that update schedule, which is going to kill most of the other cheap alternatives, even if they do beat it spec for spec. That's the boring bits out of the way though. What is it actually like to use? Sadly, I can't speak for myself here. My podcast host, Abner, if you haven't checked out our podcast, Pixelated, go check that out. Me and Abner talk all things Google and Android. He went over to the Google HQ to spend some time with the hardware before launch, and he's told me some very interesting things. And his first impression of the Pixel 8a is one of familiarity. Gone are the squared off edges of the Pixel 7a, as we already knew ahead of time, replaced by smooth curves of the Pixel 8 series. These are definitely way more pronounced than they are in renders that you've probably seen by this point in time. The design refresh makes the 8a feel more modern and comfortable to hold, but it has another benefit, a hidden benefit here, as it feels almost identical to the regular Pixel 8, and that's pretty darn impressive to think that this is actually a device that is 2 cycles on from the similarly good but obviously affordably made Pixel 6a when you compare that to the Pixel 6 and even the 7a to the 7 series last year. It's a real shame that Google is probably going to be leaving this comfortable and approachable design behind with its 9th generation of phones later this year. The Pixel 9 series is coming with a boxier aesthetic, and while they could end up feeling quite nice, it's wondering, or it has me wondering anyway, will it be quite as polished out of the gate? I'm actually not so sure, and neither was Abner after spending time with the Pixel 8a. There are 4 colours to choose from, and if you're interested to which you should pick, well, there are some more differences between those renders and the real thing, as that is always the case with a lot of Pixel devices. Firstly, all of the rear panels are plastic or composite, and they have matte finishes, something we already knew. Now, this looks better than the glossy finish of the Pixel 8 to my eye, but the colours are a little bit more muted, as you can see from the footage that you're viewing right now. From renders alone, you'd probably think that the aloe or the mint green or the light green colour would be a bright green. Well, it's actually a lot closer to the mint Pixel 8 and 8 Pro for a cohesive system across the board there, and it does look great with the matte camera bar and those matte side rails. The Bay model is actually the opposite though. It looks way more saturated in real life than the Bay Pixel 8 Pro, making it a deeper blue in person, a more colourful, or at least a more colourful addition to this lineup. I think some of that is actually going to be owed to the matte side rails and the camera bar itself, which are actually glossy on the Pixel 8 Pro, so this looks like the ultimate phone for people who love blue devices, something that we haven't had for quite a while, at least until the Pixel 8 series was revealed. The last two models in the lineup, the Porcelain and Obsidian versions, they look great in person from what I'm seeing here, but they're just less striking and definitely more in line with the Pixel 8 Pro and the Pixel 8 series, although they have matte finishes. They do have an almost glittery finish as well that isn't visible front on, and you can't see that in the renders. It's something that you can't see in the matte glass of the Pixel 8 Pro alternates either. It's almost crystalline and it's really visible when the light catches it just right. And I've been told that the phones, all of these phones, all four models, feel different to glass, but not a million miles away, which is something that has always been the case with a lot of the older Pixel phones as well, especially the A series. You can see all the colours here compared on screen to the previous gen, so you can get an idea of just what to expect. Pause the video if you want a closer look. I have to say I am really smitten by that blue model, the Bay version, but who knows what model I will end up picking. All of the colour options do have a corresponding case if you're wondering, but there is a limited coral option if you want to adorn your device with a flash of extra colour or extend that design with a little bit of extra protection thrown in, although we didn't spend much time with those to give you a full rundown of what you're going to expect. I do want to talk about the screen for a moment, as this is one of the few areas of notable improvement over the previous generation. This is a OLED screen that is now tuned to 120Hz, up from the 90Hz that you found on the Pixel 7a. It is sadly still Gorilla Glass 3, or the coating that is, but it has a new maximum brightness of 2000 nits. Yes, you heard me correctly. That is absolutely insane. 2000 nits for a phone in this price bracket is very impressive, and it's 40% brighter than the Pixel 7a. The bezels also on this screen, they're noticeable compared to the Pixel 8 and especially the Pixel 8 Pro, but given this is a far more affordable phone, aimed more towards the lower end of the market, and that has a more affordable build, I can kind of see why this has been the case. The jump from 90 to 120Hz isn't huge, but if you're going from a 60Hz phone to 120Hz, I've got to say the smooth display option is going to be a big bonus for you. Of course, there's tons more to discuss once we do get our own review units in hand, and we'll have plenty of information on where it stacks up against the Pixel 8, which I think this phone is very close to. We saw it last year with the 7a versus the Pixel 7, and it's definitely more pronounced, even more so this time around. You'll be able to pick up the Pixel 8 from May 14th. It's $499 for the 128GB model. That translates to £499 in the UK. And I would say take this video with a grain of salt. It's by no means a verdict. It's merely some impressions and minor thoughts from someone that has spent time with the 8A. Sadly, not me directly. I would have loved to have spent some time with this device as a big 8 series lover. I'm actually eager to get my hands on the device and give you the full lowdown in the coming weeks with some deep dives, comparisons, and more. So stick around for that if you do like that kind of thing. Shout out to our channel members that are on screen now. You're real legends here. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more, and I will speak to you later.